coders and developers, a point brought home forcefully in the plan. A city of creators makes bold plans, and then we execute on them. That's why we'll begin working immediately on the proposal to use the buildings and lots owned by city government in service of a growing inclusive innovation district. For example, one building was identified as a potential site for low-income housing, another as additional space for new companies. While we will put many of the plan's recommendations into action, this first step shows that city government will do its part to make sure Chattanoogan's can participate in the economy of the future. The people who build houses and companies are often thought of as creators, but those patrolling our streets right now are also creating a better Chattanooga. At a record high of 500 sworn personnel, we now have the capacity to build up our gun reduction and intelligence units. We've also upgraded our technology. In our real-time intelligence center, announced at State of the City in 2016, is being put to good use, helping us identify perpetrators of violence. While much of the public safety burden falls on our officers, we do not leave it to them alone. Our Citizen Safety Coalition meets regularly to take good intentions and turn them into action. Whether it's getting churches involved or sponsoring a neighborhood basketball game, an approach that involves everyone creates a safer city in the long run. That same idea has led us to a more victim-centered approach to law enforcement. Our police officers spend more time than ever caring about what happens to victims after a crime is committed. Through the Family Justice Center and the community and police response to victims of violence, we turn victims into survivors. So, more sworn officers and technology, a department set up for success, community involvement, support for victims. These enhancements make the Violence Reduction Initiative as effective as possible. VRI started with the idea that there are not bad streets and bad neighborhoods. Instead, there are a small number of people causing much of the gun violence in our city, and we should focus on them. It's paying off. Last year, our gang shootings were down 30%. In the first quarter of this year, they are down more than 30% again. We saw 0 murders in the month of March. Last year, we went more than 60 consecutive days without a homicide. Recently, while pursuing an investigation into one gang, our police department was able to clear 6 unsolved homicides in 1 week. These are tremendous accomplishments. However, we know there is still too much conflict in our city and in our country, damaging far too many lives. A few years ago, we witnessed a mass shooting that claimed the lives of 5 American heroes. Unfortunately, our community is not alone in experiencing the tragic impact of hate. Last summer in Charlottesville, the year before in Orlando, the list goes on and on. The FBI recently released a report showing hate crimes are up nationally. But I wish I could say our state is the exception, but the numbers in Tennessee reflect the necessity of tackling this problem. Our state ranks 9th in the number of hate crimes in the U.S. This hits us all at home, too. I have 2 teenage daughters, and like all parents, Monique and I worry about the hate that lights up across smartphones on a minute-by-minute basis. The City of Creators will find new ways to combat hatred, especially when it leads to violence and tears apart the social fabric of a community. The solutions will come from purposeful discussion and pragmatic action. To promote solutions over conflict, I'm announcing a new Council Against Hate. The council will define the scope of the problem and push new ideas to stop violence. After July 16, 2015, our city was held up as a model of how to respond to terrorism. We can also be a model of how to stop the hate that inspires it in the first place. building this kind of city never stops. For us to develop the future generations necessary to drive our civic, cultural, and economic life, we must invest in families and the young creators they nurture. For the past few years, Chattanooga has been at the forefront of creating an entirely new kind of early learning system. Not a scattered program here and there, instead a comprehensive way to help children get off to a great start. Our Office of Early Learning has overseen a number of critical investments. One standout has been Baby University, which I also announced at a prior State of the City. This Keystone initiative helps families find solutions because when moms and dads have more time, resources, and knowledge about how to help their children, their sons and daughters are better off. Just a couple of quick facts show you what a difference they can make. Of the 154 families who've enrolled, not one has suffered infant mortality. 29% of families were self-sufficient in employment when they started. Now, 63% are. And we've had 29 teens who got pregnant and subsequently signed up for Baby U. While the national dropout rate for teen moms is 47%, every single Baby U teen mom has either graduated or is on track to graduate. We also know that a lot of Chattanooga families are caught in the middle, making too much money to qualify for state aid, but not enough to pay for quality early learning themselves. For them, we created early learning scholarships so their children would not have to miss out. When our standout partners like Chambliss Children's Center have looked to expand, we've supported them. We focused intently on improving the quality of our Head Start programs, and we're seeing great results there too. As we invest in teacher education and a top-notch curriculum, these kids have experienced greater gains in literacy and math, giving them a much stronger likelihood of success. A city of creators invests in the next generation and in the families that support their growth. When all families are stronger and children in every zip code have a fair shot, we will all enjoy a more resilient and more prosperous future. That's why tonight I'm setting a new goal. Between now and the time I leave office, we will create 1,000 additional high-quality early learning spots in our city. Achieving this will not be easy, and we'll need to work together. We have terrific partners in Chattanooga 2.0, and we will certainly need their help. This year's budget will include some specific plans for creating new slots for kids in our community, as well as turning some existing ones into high-quality options for parents. I know we can do this and all the other things that I've named tonight. It's the success story of our city. Chattanooga has accomplished so much since I was a kid. We are celebrated for our products and places, and we should be recognized for our people as well. Because a city of creators is not passive, and we don't rely on others to do the work for us. Creation is power. When we realize that we all possess that power, and we are intentional about what we can do with it in our homes, in our churches, and in our schools, in our workplaces, and in our neighborhoods, we can accomplish anything. This is what Chattanooga does. This is who Chattanoogans are. I've seen it in action, and so have you. And not only in a few people who are justifiably recognized for their investment and hard work in making great things happen in our city. No, the spirit, drive, and determination of Chattanoogans exists everywhere, in every neighborhood, of every race, gender, income, and sexual orientation, in the firefighters, teachers, activists, and neighborhood leaders who fill this room. In the young children you may see at home when you leave here tonight, and in the people taking care of them while you're gone. After all, creation is at our core. Tonight, I am reminded of the first sentence of the Bible. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. God is the creator, and we are all created in his image. So when we proclaim ourselves a city of creators, we claim a higher purpose, not solely to become a great city, but to unleash the creative will and capacity of his entire creation. So, over the next year, ask yourself how you can build and invest in a city of creators. You've heard a few ideas from me tonight, but there is much more that we can do to inspire our fellow Chattanooggans. Leading up to this speech, I've listened to many ideas from the community about how to expand a city of creators. Over the next few months, we will share this message in every neighborhood and among every family and every person. All of us are creators made in God's image. The state of our city is strong because of you. We will be at our best when each and every one of you feels the power and potential of your awesome abilities. Thank you very much.
Now